filmmaking covers a variety of genres, and during the 1990s, one in particular saw a resurgence: the big budget disaster flick.
It's coming! It's headed right for us! It's already here!
For two science obsessed kids growing up on opposite sides of Pennsylvania, nothing left a bigger impression than Twister.
The suck zone.
I think we're going in!
Join Kelly and Joe as they dissect the second highest grossing film of 1996,
Debris! Dusty, we have debris!
Debris!
minute by minute,
Another cow!
Actually, I think that was the same one.
and relive one of their favorite movies of all time.
No, that was a good-sized twister. What was that, an F3?
Solid F2. Tornado warning continues now.
All right, welcome back to Solid F2 Podcast. Kelly and Joe here to discuss minute 6 of Twister. So, any predictions of what you think is going to happen? Do you think it'll have changed?
No, I want to be totally surprised.
You want to be totally surprised. Okay. Well, let's surprise everyone and take a look at minute 6, picking up right where we left off the last time with the beautiful CGI of the GOES 8 weather satellite.
At 7 a.m. in Oklahoma City, the temperature is 75 degrees. Across the state, skies are partly cloudy. A dry line is located in western Oklahoma. Visible satellite pictures indicate thunderstorms developing along and ahead of the dry line. Temperatures over the state were in the mid-70s to low 80s.
Let's take a look. The cab's already starting to break.
All models are forecasting lifted indices from -6 to -10.
You know, if these cells keep building like this, there could be a record outbreak of tornadoes.
This is going to be a long day.
So close to seeing a main character.
Almost.
Not quite.
You don't count the NSSL scientists?
No, I don't. And I hope you're looking up their names because I don't have them in front of me right now. But we're so very close to meeting Bill and Melissa, which is, you know, two of the main characters in the movie. We haven't really gotten there yet. And we're so close because we can see their vehicle. It's the red Dodge truck that is used throughout the entire course of the film. But first we get some nice shots of it feels in Oklahoma. You have someone crop dusting and yeah, go ahead, laugh it up. But, you know, we started with the GOES 8 weather satellite, and it had that real smooth transition where you're looking at it from space, and then all of a sudden the really terrible outlines of the states pop up with look like light bulbs. I'm not really sure how they were trying to delineate the states there.
I also like the imagery they show there makes it look like it is just solid, overcast clouds from top to bottom at 7 o'clock in the morning in Oklahoma. But clearly that is not the case. In fact, you hear the weatherman say partly cloudy skies at the moment, which is, it just doesn't jive with the imagery that they're showing from the GOES 8 weather satellite.
Yeah, well, you're not going to win them all.
Have we won anything yet?
But no, yeah, it's my favorite is to look at this. Do you think this is a real shot of GOES 8 weather satellite data from 1996?
No.
No. This is created for the movie. Now, the stuff down below could be, as it looks like, you can't really make out any of the words. Over on the left, I see wind speed, wind direction, wind shear, and temperature. On the right, it looks like
Norman, Oklahoma City, Tulsa,
an average.
Average.
but I can't tell what one. The green one is temperature. Is that lifted index?
Lifted index
Okay.
on the red, temperature.
So that very much could be something pulled from, from weather data in 1996, and that could be part of the display. But the imagery on top, where you see the light bulb outlines of the states, I don't think that is actual weather data.
No, you don't think?
No, I don't believe so. But then you get to see some imagery on a monitor, which looks like something you would see on a newscast. And then you get to meet the first two scientists. Although this was always one of my favorite things, is they want to emphasize that no one calls it the National Severe Storm Laboratory. It's called NSSL. So they underline the first letter of each word, which I latched onto as an 11-year-old when this movie came out, and I started doing that for everything. Anytime there was like a sports team or something specific, I always underline the first letter of.
Is this how it taught you to do that? Are you saying?
Yes, I'm saying I grabbed that from this. I was
so.
I like that. I'm gonna do that.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah, I do like in the background Skywarn. They got some Skywarn stickers. So I wonder if where this was shot. I doubt it's actually at NSSL. I wonder if this is just a mock-up.
I'm sure it's
and someone
a mock-up,
had the foresight to put things like that in the background. And definitely is a place that has tech all the time. You see those large computer monitors in the wall, and you can see, I think you're going to pan to the left, and you're going to see like the precursor to Penn State's map wall with all the digital data and imagery projected. And
a guy wearing a tie with a flannel shirt.
Yeah, but he's one of our significant, extremely minor characters that you see here and then like two other times.
Yep. Keep going there for a second. I want to see. I think she has some cat stuff. Yeah, she's got cat pictures on her monitor.
Yep.
I feel this lady. Like
you would be friends with her, huh?
Yeah, I feel like we might be kindred spirits.
We got the globe on top.
This was when monitors had enough bulk that you could use them as a shelf.
You could attach things to them.
Yes. Not so much anymore.
She has a Ram's disc sticker.
There you go.
Across the top of the monitor. Yeah, someone was whoever was in charge of decorating the set did a pretty good job.
But did you have to make the lady the cat lady? Like...
Well, I would think if we're going back to statistics, we talked about last time about when a tornado would occur. Is it more likely for a man or a woman to have cat pictures? It's going to be a woman. I'm pretty sure that's established.
Well, I don't know where that data came from.
We could pull up that data right now.
All right. We can discuss your sexism here at a later time.
That's not sexism if it's related to statistics and data.
His tie looks crinkly.
That's sexist.
No, that's an observation.
No, men usually wear ties, so that's sexist.
I said his tie looks crinkly?
No, you're being sexist. You should probably stop that.
You're being obtuse, and you should absolutely stop that.
Have you figured out the names of these actors?
No, they're not listed on IMDb, so I don't think they're real people.
Oh, so the digital imagery isn't great, but we have robotics that are just playing.
Well, clearly that's where all the money went.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
6 to minus 10.
If these cells keep building like this, there could be a record outbreak of tornadoes.
This is going to be a long day.
Again, referencing that their day had just started, and it's already looking really terrible for everyone involved.
Let's listen for a minute to what, if you can go back to where the man in the background starts talking about it's 7 a.m. and just kind of want to break that down a little bit.
Cap's already starting to break.
Earlier than this?
All models are forecasting lifted indices from minus 6 to minus 10.
Nope, that's good. So one of the things we hear is that there's a lot of humidity in the air. Looking past the fact that it's 7 in the morning, but we hear him say, Mr. Flannel shirt with tie, with Is that a striped tie with a flannel shirt?
It is.
What's happening?
Not really sure.
Anyway, we hear him
Not
say
great.
the cap is already starting to break. Do you remember what the cap is from your days in meteorology, Joe?
The cap?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so the cap is a layer of stable air that sort of suppresses any convection that's happening in the atmosphere. If you imagine in this sort of situation, it can almost act like a lid on a pressure cooker, and it will allow that energy to build up as this warm, moist air rises and is forced upward, this layer of instability. The longer it sits there, the more potential energy it builds up, and when it breaks, those towers or the cumulus clouds are going to shoot up rapidly and eventually become cumulonimbus clouds and thunderstorm systems and so on. So that the fact that the cap is breaking, they're saying that this layer of stable air is already starting to erode because of this strong forced convection. Now, again, I go back to it's very early in the day for that to happen. You need strong convection for that to happen, which is generally not happening at 7 o'clock in the morning. But it's interesting anyway. You also hear her say lifted indices from -6 to -10. The more negative a number, the more unstable a section of air is. They're basically taking the temperature of a parcel at the surface and they're lifting it. Lifting it how?
Along something.
They're lifting it adiabatically through the atmosphere, and then they're going to compare the temperature of that parcel to the temperature of the air outside of the parcel at a specific pressure level in the atmosphere. And the bigger the difference, the warmer that parcel is compared to the air around it, the more convective it is, the more energy it has. So the stronger that lifted indice, the more negative it is, the more potential you have for severe weather. So at least that scientifically
makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with your knowledge of classes that we haven't had in over a decade, because while I understand what she was saying, trying to explain it would never have been able to come out of my mouth right now. So I'm glad you were able to do that.
I have a degree around here somewhere. I have 2 of them.
You do. I've seen them. Okay, so you were wrong. They clearly are in IMDb.
I didn't look very hard.
I figured that, so that's why I was going to double check for you. While you were doing the scientific heavy lifting, I did the Googling, and I found our NSSL scientists in the IMDb database for the movie Twister. The man is named Murphy.
Has he been in Supernatural?
Has he been in Supernatural? Well, we can find out.
You're way too far down in the timeline.
I know that. I was going to talk about some of the
Apollo
other things.
13.
Would you? Ruining it.
I beg to differ. He didn't skip anything before that.
He was in Cheers, which was one that
no one
he's
cares.
pictured here for. He was also in Speed.
No one cares. Maybe that's where they got him from, maybe.
I would think so. He was in Apollo 13 as a news anchor. I'm not sure how much you see him there. He's
Love it.
made appearances in Star Trek.
Don't care.
And that was prior to his appearance here in Twister as Murphy, the NSSL scientist. And since then, West Wing, ER, X-Files, 6 Feet Under, another different Star Trek, Days of Our Lives.
He hasn't done anything since 2006.
Yeah, it was The Unit. So he's a bit player. His name is Bruce Wright, and they say he's known for Speed, the Negotiator, and Twister. So we're seeing him as one of his iconic roles here.
Wow.
So
good for you, Bruce.
Yeah, good job, Bruce, appearing here as Murphy.
Now, he wasn't in Jurassic Park, was he? Because
he was not in Jurassic Park.
Wouldn't that be crazy if it was in each of my top 3 favorite films?
Yeah, maybe he's the reason, but no, sadly, he's not in Jurassic Park. He was not even a minor player that got eaten or anything. So the woman is playing what's her name? Bryce.
Was she in Supernatural?
Scientist Bryce. She was in Star Worms 2.
Star Worms
2. Attack of the Pleasure Pods.
Oh, God. Don't say that again. I don't like that.
Attack of the Pleasure Pods.
Don't like it.
She was in The Rocketeer as a stewardess.
Is that movie
The
with
Beverly
that guy?
Hillbillies as a woman at party. Then her iconic role as the NSSL scientist Bryce in Twister.
Oh, she's still in the movies though.
She was in both Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 as Madeline
Spider-Man.
Watson and Mrs. Watson.
Spider-Man.
She appeared on The Island, which I believe you and I saw together. She was in Hancock, which I have never seen. And she's currently, a movie called Pre is in post-production, and she plays Dr. Peters. So you may have seen her in a few things.
Doc Pete's.
So obviously we've seen her in Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, the Madeline and Mrs. Watson character. So
I wonder if she knew Pete Spider-Man.
Good friends reference. So
That's why you married me.
that is very true. So
They have their fire extinguisher outside the door. You know, safety first.
that's why I'm wondering. A
Lava lamp.
We both saw it at the same time. Little lava lamp set decoration there. Always good. I've been trying to read her coffee mug. I think it says next track.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? So I'm just trying to pause when it's legible. I can't read it.
You're
It's
doing a
too
terrible
too
job of it.
blurry. I know I am. I'm sure it's meteorological school or society or institution in the Midwest. But I haven't been able to pinpoint exactly what it says.
Next rad.
Next rad. There we go. Next rad.
Next
that
rad
makes sense.
radar.
So nice lavender coffee. It's actually tea.
It's tea.
So there, it's just like
One more
so
kindred spirit.
Bryce. Yeah,
Check mark.
Yep. Cat lady.
Mm-hmm.
Lavender mug with tea in it. So, yep. This could be.
You think they're doing it?
Bryce and Murphy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, look at them.
Look at the sexual tension between them.
I mean, yeah, you could cut it with a
palpable.
knife. You could cut it with a knife.
Palpable, yeah.
And now
we never see them again.
No, we do. We do. We see they go back to NSSL.
Oh, do they? I don't remember that.
They go back one or two more times.
Do they?
Yeah.
God, I've seen this movie a million
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
I do not recall that. I guess we'll see.
So we're gonna get to Kelly's favorite part, the crop duster, because she can't help but giggle like a little child. So there it is. That was the end of the 6 minute. We're through 6 minutes, but the best part here, after we see Bryce and Murphy at NSSL, we get to go over the plains, I'm assuming, of Oklahoma. After we discussed in a couple episodes ago about how Jan de Bont insisted to not film in California, to actually go to Oklahoma, which they did. And the immediate shot, nice plane or helicopter shot of the fields. And we get a nice introduction to the score by Mark Mancina, which we had to use.
Fantastic music.
We had to use in our introduction, that we play every episode. But I think one of my favorite things about Mark Mancina is everything that he's done outside of just the movie Twister. And I didn't realize how much he's done in the film world, but one of my favorite connections is we just talked about it was about a week ago when we were watching a Disney movie with the girls. And I was like, I saw the name flash up on the screen, and I was thinking, I've heard that name. What do I know that name from? And the movie that we were watching was it Mulan? Which movie were we watching when that popped up? Do you remember?
I don't know. I thought that's what you were getting to here with your rambling.
Well, no, because I want to get to the next part when I realized that he also did
Speed 2?
that movie. Well, no, yes, he did Speed.
Space Mutiny.
Yes. You are awful at this.
Lion King.
No, it wasn't Lion King. It was... I thought it was... I was thinking it was Emperor's New Groove, but...
Was it not Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Was it Honey, I Shrunk? I don't think so.
You got to go down to the 80s for that.
That was 89. No.
So you started this with the intent of telling us...
Yeah, I know. I should have had that ready, because I don't... What movie were we watching with the girls that he had done the music for? Now I can't find it.
Moana?
Oh, Moana. He did Moana.
Did we watch more?
Yes, it was a couple weeks ago. I thought it was more recent. So yeah, so he did Moana. I saw
It
his
was
name.
Bad Boys for Life. The girls love that movie.
Yeah, you're right. No, we had rewatched Moana, which we hadn't seen in a while, but it's a great movie. And I saw Mark Mancina, and I immediately was like, oh, that's the guy who did Twister, which made me think, what else has he done if he's done Moana? So I looked over his discography, and he's done the Planes and Planes sequel, which is similar to Disney's Cars. And then I saw that he did The Haunted Mansion, which was a Disney movie, and Brother Bear as well.
Go down to the television credits, por favor. Just curious here.
I mean, his biggest one there is probably Criminal Minds, which we're watching right now.
Are you sure that's not where we saw that?
No, it was definitely Moana, because I remember it being while we were watching something.
Oh, I
with
just
the
listened
girls.
to a podcast on Houdini.
Okay, well, he did the music for that.
Not the podcast, but the show.
Right. But as I went down his discography and going back in time, I saw he did Training Day, and he did Tarzan with Phil Collins, and then obviously he did the Speed and Speed 2, and then I saw he did The Lion King, so Hans Zimmer and Elton John. He's worked with a lot of people. Days of Thunder.
Where are you going with this?
To the point that I'm trying to make. I mean, you already said it, so you kind of ruined it. But back in 1988, he composed music for a movie entitled Space Mutiny, which, if anyone is a fan of Mystery Science Theater 3000, you'll know that is one of the best episodes of MST3K, and it's Kelly and my probably second favorite MST3K episode.
Well, that's presumptuous.
What, is it not?
I don't remember all of them, so I can't answer that.
Well, you remember parts of Space Mutiny. I know you do.
I know I do.
But, I mean, obviously our favorite is
Roused Hour.
The Last Sacrifice, clearly, is the greatest MST3K episode. But Space Mutiny is up there. Mark Mancina did the score for that. Just thought it was funny connection.
You did it as a joke, or do you think he,
No, it was
meant
at the
to
beginning.
do it?
It was at the beginning of his career. It was only the fifth thing he did. Third in 1988. He started with Man Killers, and then 3 movies in a row that don't even have links on Wikipedia. So not a lot going on there. Then Space Mutiny, I'm guessing, probably only has a page on Wikipedia because of the way Mystery Science Theater eviscerates it.
Or lifts it up.
Well, true. I mean, no one would know about it if it wasn't for them. But he really got... I would say his big break really probably was Days of Thunder in late 1990 with Hans Zimmer. And things got better from there. But he tends to work... if he gets in with a director, they tend to come back to him, which is always a good sign. And once you get in with Disney, that's also can be a fruitful endeavor. So Mark Mancina's score gets highlighted here as we start present-day Oklahoma. And we finally see our red Dodge truck, which
is the true main character.
Right, yeah, that's what we're actually talking. It's not Bill, it's not Joe, it's not Dorothy.
It's not Dr. Melissa Reeves.
It's not the Tornadoes. It's the red Dodge truck.
Also that crop duster. He's special.
I keep saying it.
Crop duster.
And I know Dodge would agree with you because obviously, because of how prominent a role it is, Dodge got premium product placement. I'm sure they were paying money to the studio for that. And Twister was actually known for their product placement because it was something that was pretty significant with how big a role the Dodge truck played in the movie.
What kind of truck was the yellow truck?
Was that an Isuzu? Are you asking or
yeah,
are you quizzing?
I'm asking because I don't know. Because they sort of killed that one. Is it like a...
No, was it a Toyota? I think it was a Toyota, wasn't
Toyotas don't survive this, but Dodge trucks can.
No, I don't think so. I think it was used hand in hand. The Dodge was just the newer one. They needed a beater car and they needed a new car. But I don't think there was anything, a negative connotation. I think it was, I want to say it was a Toyota. I thought it was. I could be wrong, though.
Why don't you look up the word truck?
It was a Jeep Gladiator. Jeep Gladiator. So I was wrong. It was not an Isuzu, nor was it a Toyota. It was a Jeep Gladiator.
Well, we see this truck going down the
Twister is known for its successful product placement featuring
Lonely
a Dodge
Road.
Ram pickup truck and several other new vehicle models.
In Oklahoma, under sunny skies, which is not what the NSL satellite is demonstrating early in the morning. Also, this doesn't look like early morning
Again,
sunshine to me.
Continuity, scientific accuracy, not necessary all the time. You also remarked about all the oil rigs. You didn't think Oklahoma had that many oil rigs, but I believe you looked it up and you were
Yeah, for a time,
corrected.
Oklahoma was producing more oil than California. So I don't know. I don't think that is still the case, but
Well, right, that fluctuates over time. But honestly, I think when people were like, where does a lot of oil come from in the United States? I feel like most people would probably immediately go to Texas. Maybe those that are thinking about it would consider California, but I also believe Alaska has been a huge producer. But yeah, Oklahoma, like Kelly said when she did her research, was a big producer of oil. So I'm glad they used Oklahoma. I know we touched on that before, but I think it just makes it a little bit more realistic, even if they couldn't always get the sky to be exactly the way they wanted to. But they did do or attempt to do a good job of filming with true stormy skies. What?
I just like that you gave them credit for attempting to do a good
Well,
job.
I mean,
Listen, I attempt to do a good job at my job every day.
It's tough to film if you have to make a movie with dark skies all the time. In order to film without putting anyone in harm's way, it's going to be difficult. They attempted to do that. Was it always successful? No. Did they get every shot they needed or wanted? No. Did they simulate a lot? Absolutely. But they were trying to film with a legitimate stormy backdrop as often as possible.
Okay.
We good there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So now I know
They
I
should
said
get a participation ribbon.
They're fine. They did. They can have that all they want. They got a lot of participation, and thank you for showing up awards and ceremonies. Surprisingly so, because I don't think people expected the movie to do as well as it did. And like it says in our intro, second highest grossing film of 1996. It blew the doors off of what they spent, which I'm sure everyone was happy about.
Did tornadoes blow the doors off?
No, actually, it was hurricanes. Yeah. There are an astounding amount of people that don't know the difference in symbology between a hurricane and a tornado.
Really?
Yes.
Pretty sure Natalie knows the difference.
So, are you familiar at all with the uniforms of the Carolina Hurricanes, the hockey team? Have you seen those in glimpses ever in anything?
Not that I've retained.
So
that goes in the I don't care file in
well,
my brain.
I just am asking for a point of reference, but because of the pandemic going on, the sports site that I read, a lot of people have been doing stuff with jersey and aesthetics of sports, and someone was ranking the uniforms of the hockey teams, and they put the Hurricanes down pretty low because they said that they had confused. They have a picture of a tornado on their uniform and not a hurricane. I'm like, no, they don't. That's a hurricane. And everyone in the comments was like, what are you talking about? Now, supposedly this guy was trying to make a joke, which didn't work at all.
Are you sure he wasn't just like, guys, I was joking?
But then he or someone pointed out that he's also British and they call things differently in England. I believe he was a British writer, and people were just like,
I could believe
a tornado.
that someone might call in some other place they might refer to a tornado as a cyclone, where when we refer to a cyclone. But the word tornado doesn't mean anything else.
And also hurricane.
Right.
Like cyclone, I get. Like if they were the Carolina Cyclones, you're being like, well, that's not what a cyclone looks like. There's some leeway there, but not with hurricanes and tornadoes.
Right.
It's completely different. But I've seen in the past with other people, and it always is related to sports because you have the Miami Hurricanes in college football. The big thing with high school athletes is to announce when they narrow down their list of offers. If someone's a big-time football player, they want to say, these are my top 8 teams. I'm going to play for one of these 8 teams when I make a decision. And people get graphic designers to make, cool imagery with them playing high school football, but then they'll have the logos of the teams they're interested in And one I saw that was really well done, other than screwing up tornado and hurricanes, was he took the mascot from each team and they put it with the player. So like for Penn State, they had a Nittany lion on there, and Clemson, they had a tiger, and then they had an elephant for Alabama. But for Miami, they had a tornado, not a hurricane. I sent this to Justin. I was like, figure out what's wrong with this picture. And he saw it right away. He's like, they used a tornado for University of Miami.
So what is the actual mascot look like, though?
Of the Miami Hurricanes? It's
Yeah.
actually the bird, I believe the ibis, is
Oh.
what they use. But you could have used a hurricane. People would have understand that. But throwing a tornado in there doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree. I just wonder
But-
I wondered.
Well,
'Cause
like, and
you don't usually see people running around in a hurricane outfit
no,
either.
and Alabama is the Crimson Tide, but they use an elephant. Miami Hurricane. I don't know. I'm sure there's a very good reason for it.
Or not, Alabama.
But yeah, Miami Hurricanes, and they used a tornado. They didn't use the ibis bird. I believe it's an ibis. I could be wrong on that, but it's a bird mascot. I believe he wears a sailor hat.
As one does.
No, of course. Anthropomorphic animals are very popular in the sporting world. So,
Yeah, don't care.
but none of them can top Gritty. So.
How'd you turn this into a sports conversation? How dare you? Let's be done with this.
I tied it all together really well. You should be proud.
I'm not.
Well, you should be, but you never are. All right, so that wraps up minute 6 of the movie, and we'll be back again real soon with minute 7. And this time, I promise, we'll get to meet Bill and Melissa and see the inside of that beautiful Dodge Ram truck.
Bet it's got a tape player in it.
1996? Yeah, I would think so. I don't. We're close to the CD revolution, right? So, I mean, maybe if they got like top tier, top shelf.
Yeah, but they had to
Dodge
order
Ram.
their CDs through the mail and then
That's
wait
true.
like 18 days for it to come. And
Yeah.
It was a rough time.
All right. Well, thanks for joining Solid F2. We'll be back again real soon with minute 7. Thanks for listening to the Solid F2 podcast, a minute-by-minute breakdown of the movie Twister. That's all for this week. Please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Solid F2 Pod. Solid F2 Podcast is part of the JMNJR Radio Network. Visit jmnjrradio.com for more.